Hi, Melinda.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Can I
Welcome
just
back.
say how amazing this conference or summit, I think we call it summit, don't we, these days? How amazing it's been. And I've had some fabulous comments from around the world on LinkedIn and on my phone to say they've been listening in and really had quite a lot of information. So well done to you. Well done,
Yeah,
Stephen.
Melinda, thank you. And this is all because of yes, of course, I've brought everybody together, but you know what, the unique insights as I was listening to everyone, answering all the questions, but also, sharing their own personal journeys, their unique insights. It's enlightened me as well. So this is a triple win, it's a multi-win. Actually, it's a multi-win.
It's
Uh,
good.
but no,
That's
amazing. This is
positive.
yeah, amazing. This is great. And I'm glad that you're back to talk about curiosity. And I'm a big advocate of curiosity myself. But there is always that perception that there isn't much known about curiosity. And I know we touched on this earlier today, but this is an opportunity for the next 20, 25 minutes or so to actually talk about what exactly it means and how we can leverage that. But before we do that, Melinda, I don't want to steal your thunder here, but share with us about who you are and what you do. Um, I know you're the CEO and founder of World Curiosity Foundation, but you also have some advisory work across different foundations and organizations as well. Uh, but tell us a little bit more about you, and then we'll delve a little bit more deeper into curiosity itself.
Well, first and foremost, I am a researcher. I believe that's my job is to research continually what curiosity is. Yes, I am the founder of the World Curious Curiosity Organization. I also have my own website, which has courses on how to use curiosity, what it is, because what I've come to realize is it is so broad. It's actually quite phenomenal. I mean, every single speaker that you've had on here
Yeah.
has, in some way, shape, or form, talked about curiosity in some way. The questions that they asked, for instance, Nicholas Bingham was talking about, 90% of businesses fail because they're not agile enough. And people and businesses need to be willing to pivot. But within that conversation that we have within ourselves and within our organizations, willing is an interesting concept. We have to determine what makes up the word willing. So that's what I do. I'm constantly questioning everything, essentially. And I found curiosity simply from a set of circumstances where I wasn't getting what I want. In fact, quite the opposite. And my business was going down the tube as well as my mental health.
Mm.
And really, when it came to the crunch, my curiosity saved me and continues to surprise me all the time. Continues to surprise me. So I really talk about curiosity in any way. I guarantee if you were to talk about innovation or whether it's creativity or whether it's being able to pivot or whether it's mental health, curiosity is always there. And my job is to ensure people realize that because it is at the very foundation we need to look. And
Mm.
curiosity is foundational thinking, essentially. That's what it is. So I hope that gives you a little bit of idea.
That absolutely. And I want to delve a little bit more deeper into where it's going to be applied. There's a focus on organizations as well. And later on also, you did talk about some of the questions that people need to be asking as well, which we'll delve into. But share with us, why is curiosity the metacognitive skill of this particular century.
Yeah, well, it is a soft skill,
Mhm.
but it enables everything else. So from curiosity, everything else arises, whether it's happiness, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's your ability to focus. The gentleman just before, Brian, was talking
Yeah,
about
Mulcahy.
paying attention.
Yeah.
That involves curiosity. So essentially, pretty much everything that I've come to realize, with the exception of one, and that is non-thought meditation. You do not want to be curious then, but for everything else, curiosity is usually there.
Yeah, yeah. It's and so how do you, bring that in front of individuals? So let's bring a few scenarios here. Um, Scenarios in the personal front. So me, my family, that's one strand. And the second strand is in businesses or in organizations and the workforce as well. How can we introduce curiosity intentionally to support something, an outcome?
Yeah, you have to be conscious of it. When
Mm.
you become
And
conscious
that's
of
it.
it,
That's the thing that I'm trying to drive at here. I mean,
yeah.
like, because sometimes we are in a way we are curious, but you did mention earlier about being intentional and so forth. But so I'm driving that. Go on.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, essentially, curiosity offers the ability to um, pay attention. And why is that so important? Because curiosity will help you to create trust. Tracy Currell talked about how the importance of creating trust when you're building relationships.
Mm,
Another lovely speaker, three-time TED talker, who's got I think she's got 3 books, is Esther Perel, who
mm,
talks about curiosity being able to being the foundational element for creating better relationships, because it forms trust.
mm,
It enables you to connect much, much faster.
mm.
Because here's the thing, when you make someone feel special because you're interested in them, because that's essentially what curiosity is, an interest in something. So when you're interested in someone else, you feel special, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a natural thing, because that's how we're built.
Mm,
And so one of the first things is, at home, just show interest in someone, and that creates this wonderful feeling. Um, my When my kids were growing up, they've gone to university now, but we always sat at the dinner table and had conversations. We were interested in their every single day, what happened. And yeah, sometimes it might have been really dull, but it doesn't matter. We were showing interest in them. And as a result, they've grown into really terrific adults.
yeah.
um I think because one of the reasons is that it forms not just better relationships, but within that person, it also forms self-confidence. Self-confidence is actually a great byproduct of curiosity.
Mm.
Yeah. And that works. Take that concept then, take that into any organization, the same thing applies.
Mm. So let's talk about that in organizations. And you've got different settings within the organization. So you've got your teams, you've got your committees and your governance committees, and people are operating at different levels, right? So and you've got your board, um, and the way you communicate with people, across these different dimensions. Yeah, so teams, maybe executives or executive forums, committees, boards, and so forth. How do you apply curiosity into it? And I'll let me explain a little bit. So when I'm in board meetings, I'm genuinely asking, I'm curious about this particular proposal or the way you have approached it. Jane, Joe, whatever it is, and I'm consciously asking that question. I'm genuinely asking that question. But sometimes I also feel, well, I'm just using that phrase because I want to I want to just ask something across. But how do you embed truly, how do you embed curiosity into these different different settings?
In different dynamics in different
Yeah,
organizations.
yeah.
Okay, so one of the really important things now more than ever is that organizations need to focus more on their people. And that's a fact, because first of all, humanity is struggling. We only need to look at the statistics for mental health issues rising, regardless of the treatments that are about. I actually believe curiosity can help significantly deal with mental health issues. But within organizations, one of the biggest problems is a feeling of security. And even when you're, or particularly actually, it's one of the things that happens with women. So say we're in a, I used to be in board meetings as well. And a woman would say something and it would be completely ignored, almost like tumbleweed. And then 10 minutes later, and this is a global problem, I've got to be honest. And the women in the audience will be nodding at this. All of a sudden, 10 minutes later or 20 minutes later, a bloke will come up with the same concept. So in that, what's going on is that, first of all, we need to be more inclusive. And I'm not just talking about women. That's just one example. We really, and I can't remember who the chap was talking about the importance of inclusivity, I should say. I think it was Nicholas Bingham earlier on. And the truth is that when we are including more people, that really gives us more security, a feeling of safety. And you will get a lot more from your people when you're feeling safe and secure. Now, that means that people can feel safe to open up and say, hey, I've got a really good idea. So that's one way of looking at it. And when we start creating these curious cultures, I'll give you an example. I wonder how many corporations are identifying the neurally diverse people within their organization, because those people are gifted. They are gifts. And if we were to stop and think about or learn about those gifts, what is neurodiversity, what is dyslexia, what is ADHD, and try and help people to actually embrace those concepts, we would have a much faster way of innovating and advancing.
Yeah.
So these are the sort of questions that I ask organizations. Have you identified the neurally diverse people? Are you making them feel safe and special and working to their strengths? In fact, are you working to the strengths of all of your people? And then one of the other things is getting people to shift their work. So for instance, if they've been in a job for 5 years, yeah, they might be really great at it, might be at the top of their game, but it would be better then to shift them into something else, simply because it keeps them moving, it keeps them fresh, it keeps them agile. And we all have this ability. We just get stuck in this sort of comfort and complacency. And what is the opposite of complacency? Curiosity.
Yeah.
And we only need to look at all the examples of companies that were pretty complacent, like Yellow Pages, who, they sat there and literally, I was working for them at the time, in fact, and I was like, why aren't you seeing Google? Why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you responding to market forces? They didn't. And where are they now? So it's really, really important that we enable the people within organizations to feel safe, and you do that through curiosity. You ask questions about people. You allow them to ask questions back. And when we look at leaders, yeah, sure, we need to look at the leader as the person who is at the top, but that doesn't necessarily mean they know the most.
Yeah.
In fact, it's pretty arguable, but Microsoft, for instance, lost their lead simply because they were focused on knowledge gathering, but knowledge gathering didn't help them to innovate. There are other things involved, and so again, that's that complacency, isn't it? You know, okay, yeah, I'm knowledgeable, I know all these things. Okay, well, how do you apply it? So this is where curiosity comes into play. And it's always there. It's there in literally everything. Like I said earlier on, I mean, I've identified in excess of 70 benefits. You cannot have ethics without curiosity. You simply can't. I believe in the mental health crisis. You could teach ourselves to ask some very, very simple questions that could significantly improve our mental health. Happiness. Now, according to Harvard Science, happiness has 9 benefits, but yet I've identified over 70 for curiosity, including neurological and physiological health. So it's very, very impressive.
No, true. Really, really interesting conversation here. Melinda, tell us, how can people learn more about curiosity?
Well, I go in and teach exactly what curiosity is, because I guarantee if you say you know what curiosity is, I will tell you you don't. Because the truth is, it's taken me in excess of 7 years to work it out. And I'm still finding new information about it. So that's how big it is. But I do courses online, I do mentoring, and I can go into organizations. And also, there is a massive gap in the market at the moment within organizations to be able to improve people's mental health within organizations. I have a system for that as well. So once you understand the basis of what curiosity is, which is what I teach either one-to-one or in groups or on the course, then we can start branching out into whether it's mental health you're interested in, or creating curious cultures, or whether you're interested in innovation, because curiosity is the foundation for innovative thinking, and we all need more of that.
Excellent. Melinda, how can the audience engage with you on this topic of curiosity?
Yeah. You can contact me on LinkedIn, Melinda Mulcahy 1, I think it is. I'm on the World Curiosity Organization.com. You can send me a message there. You can book a free consultation if you want to learn about how curious you are and what type of curious you are. We can go through a questionnaire with you. Also, CuriousYou.com is where you can get the courses. And you can just email me, Melinda@CuriousYou.com.
Awesome, awesome. Melinda, really appreciate you for being with us today and giving a little bit more insight on curiosity. I certainly will enhance my my knowledge on this and how I apply that. So we'll definitely be in touch. But I appreciate you for making the time to be with us here today, and hopefully you've also found beneficial, the sessions beneficial, and how you intersect that with the work that you do. Thank you.
And thanks very much for having me. And don't forget, get curious.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. I am just gonna go back here.